Immediately after I woke up from my coma, the room was completely empty, except for a crumpled note that said, "Pay for everything yourself." Suddenly, a mysterious man appeared and whispered, "Your husband has made a terrible mistake." Then I realized who he really was. Amanda slowly blinked her eyes open, the fluorescent light above flickering slightly, making her head throb even harder. She tried to move, but her limbs felt heavy, as though gravity itself had doubled. The last thing she remembered was falling asleep at home after a late-night argument with Tony. And then nothing. The room was silent except for the faint hum of a hospital monitor. Amanda sat up, squinting at the unfamiliar walls. The scent of disinfectant filled her nose. She tried to call Tony's name but realized she was alone. Panic bubbled in her chest. She swung her legs over the edge of the bed, and her eyes caught a crumpled note lying on the floor near the door. Amanda reached for it, hands trembling. Written in hurried, jagged handwriting were the words, "Pay for everything yourself." Her heart skipped a beat. What did it mean? Who had left it? She tried to remember. Had Tony left it? No. Tony wouldn't leave a note like this, would he? Memories of her last night in bed flashed. The argument over money, Tony's frustration about bills, and her late-night work calls. Amanda had never seen him that angry. Her phone was on the bedside table, but the screen was dead. She scrambled off the bed, her legs unsteady, and searched the room. The room was small, stripped of personal belongings. It didn't even feel like their apartment anymore. Amanda's pulse raced. Where was Tony? Why was she here alone? Suddenly, the door creaked open. Amanda froze, every muscle tensing. A man stepped into the room, tall and imposing, dressed in dark clothing that made him blend almost into the shadows. His eyes were sharp, scanning Amanda as if he were analyzing her every reaction. "Your husband has made a terrible mistake," the man said in a low, measured voice. Amanda's stomach dropped. Who are you?" she whispered, her voice cracking. The man didn't answer immediately. He studied her for a moment, and then his lips curved into the faintest smirk. "You'll understand soon enough," he said, and then he simply stood there waiting. Amanda's mind raced. Tony. Was he in danger? Was this man threatening her? Every horror story she'd ever read online about strangers, criminals, and ambushes seemed to flood her thoughts at once. She noticed a small suitcase in the corner of the room. Her instincts told her to run, but her body refused to move. The man stepped closer, deliberately slow, and placed a hand on the note she still clutched. "Read this carefully," he said. Amanda's hands shook as she unfolded the paper. It was the same note. Nothing new, except a small symbol in the corner, a black emblem she didn't recognize. Fear gripped her chest. "Who are you?" she repeated, louder this time. The man finally leaned forward, and Amanda caught a glimpse of a familiar glint in his eyes. He was wearing sunglasses, but she could feel his stare, sharp and penetrating. "You're about to find out that Tony isn't the man you thought he was," he said, voice calm, almost too calm. "And you've got choices to make. Starting now." Amanda's mind felt like it was spinning. Her heart pounded as she tried to remember the last thing before she lost consciousness. Something had happened. Something dangerous. And Tony, was he at the center of it? The man stepped back, gesturing toward the door. "Follow me. I'll explain everything." Amanda hesitated. Every instinct screamed at her to run, to escape, to grab her phone, to hide, but she couldn't ignore the fear in her gut. Whatever had happened, she knew one thing: her life, and her marriage, was about to change forever. She took a deep breath and nodded, clutching the crumpled note. The man opened the door fully, and Amanda stepped out into a hallway she didn't recognize. The lights flickered again, and a cold draft swept past her. "Everything you knew about Tony is a lie," the man said quietly. "And by the end of tonight, you'll see why." Amanda swallowed hard, her mind racing. Questions, fears, and memories collided. What had Tony done? Why was she alone? And most importantly, who was this man really? For the first time since waking, Amanda felt the full weight of her situation. This wasn't just about a husband's mistake. This was about survival, secrets, and choices she couldn't yet imagine. As the man led her down the long, dim hallway, Amanda held the note tighter. Pay for everything yourself. She didn't understand it yet, but she knew she had to. The hallway Amanda followed the man down seemed endless. The fluorescent lights flickered intermittently, casting long, unsettling shadows on the walls. Every step she took echoed ominously, making her pulse quicken. She wanted to ask him where Tony was, why she was here, why the note said she had to pay for everything herself, but something about the man's presence silenced her. He exuded authority, an aura that brooked no interruption. After what felt like an eternity, the hallway opened into a sparsely furnished room. The man gestured toward a chair in the center. Amanda hesitated, then reluctantly sat. She kept the crumpled note clutched in her hands, as if it were a lifeline. "I'm going to explain everything," the man began, his voice calm but commanding. "But first, you need to understand one thing. Tony has been living a life of lies. You trusted him, loved him, and yet you had no idea who he truly was." Amanda's chest tightened. "What do you mean?" she asked, voice trembling. "Tony, he's my husband. He wouldn't." The man raised a hand, cutting her off. "He's done something that has put both of you in danger. You waking up today is not a coincidence, Amanda. It was meant to happen now, at this exact moment, because he crossed a line he shouldn't have." Amanda swallowed hard, trying to make sense of his words. Danger? Line he shouldn't have crossed? Her mind flashed back to the last argument she and Tony had. It was over money, bills piling up, work schedules, late nights. She never imagined it could lead to something criminal? Something dangerous? The man leaned closer, his eyes glinting with intensity. "Tony owes people a lot more than just money. And now, you have to take responsibility for the consequences of his choices." Amanda's heart pounded so hard, she thought he might hear it. "Wait, me? Why me?" "Because," the man said slowly, "Tony made a terrible mistake thinking you wouldn't find out. He assumed you'd remain blind to what he's done. But now that you're awake, there's no turning back. You have to make a choice, either face it head-on, or let it destroy both of you." Amanda's mind raced. Her husband, the man she thought she knew, somehow living a secret life that had put them both in jeopardy? The words felt surreal. She had spent years building a life with Tony, trusting him with her heart, with their home, with everything. Could it all have been a lie? The man slid a folder across the table toward her. Amanda opened it, her hands shaking. Inside were photographs, documents, and statements, things that painted a picture she couldn't believe. Tony was involved in something far more dangerous than she could have imagined. Every photo showed him meeting with people Amanda didn't recognize, exchanging briefcases, signing papers she couldn't understand. The documents suggested dealings that were illegal, possibly criminal. Her stomach twisted. This can't be real," she whispered. "It's real," the man said, watching her carefully. "Tony thought he could protect you from all of this. But you woke up at the wrong time, or perhaps the right time. Now you see the truth. Nothing is as it seems. And now, Amanda, you must decide whether to protect him, yourself, or both." Amanda felt tears prick at the corners of her eyes. She didn't know what to do. Her mind was a storm of confusion and fear. Tony, the man she loved, the father of her children, the person she trusted most, had made choices that could ruin everything. She thought of the crumpled note again. Pay for everything yourself. It wasn't just a warning. It was a prophecy, a message that she had to stand on her own, confront the danger, and make decisions without relying on Tony. Who are you?" she asked again, her voice steadier this time, needing some anchor in the chaos. The man smiled faintly. "I'm someone who knows the truth about Tony, and I'm here to guide you through it. Consider me a warning, a map. But you're the one who has to navigate this. He made the mistake. You decide how to handle the aftermath." Amanda's mind spun. She could feel the weight of the folder in her hands, the weight of the revelation settling like a stone in her chest. Everything she thought she knew was gone. The man was right. Tony had made a terrible mistake, and now she had to face the reality. The man's gaze softened slightly. I can't protect you from his choices, Amanda. Only you can. Amanda took a deep, trembling breath. Her mind raced with possibilities. Confront Tony? Escape? Call the authorities? Could she trust anyone? She realized one thing with chilling clarity. This was bigger than a marital argument. This was survival, justice, and the truth, all tangled together. And as she looked up at the man, a strange mix of fear and determination building inside her, Amanda knew that nothing would ever be the same again. Amanda spent a long moment staring at the folder, every photograph and document a punch to her chest. She had spent years trusting Tony, believing he was the man she loved, the one who would always protect her, the one she had built her life around. But now, with evidence spread before her, that image of him was fracturing. The man watching her, standing just a few feet away, was patient but unyielding. You need to understand everything before making a move, he said. Tony wasn't reckless. He calculated this, but he misjudged the danger, and now it's out in the open. Amanda's hands shook as she flipped through the papers. Contracts with names she didn't recognize. Bank statements showing suspicious transactions. Photos of Tony meeting with men in dark alleyways, briefcases exchanged with an urgency that spoke of more than just money. Amanda's throat tightened. He couldn't have, she whispered. The man stepped closer. He could, and he did. You see, Tony thought he could handle it alone. He assumed you would never find out. But you woke up today, Amanda. Now it's your turn to face the consequences. Amanda's mind raced, trying to reconcile the husband she knew with the man in those photos. Tony had always been charming, attentive, and protective, but had he been living a secret life this whole time? She remembered the late nights he claimed were for work, the sudden trips he never explained fully. Everything added up now, but the realization didn't make it any easier. Why didn't he tell me? Amanda asked, her voice breaking. Why keep me in the dark? The man's expression softened slightly. Because he thought he was protecting you. He believed that keeping you in the dark would shield you from the danger. But the truth has a way of surfacing, Amanda. And now you must decide how to act on it. Amanda swallowed, trying to steady herself. Her heart pounded. She thought of their home, the life they had built together, and how fragile it all seemed now. Could she forgive Tony? Could she trust him again? The answer didn't come immediately. Suddenly, her phone buzzed in her pocket, something she hadn't realized she still had with her. She pulled it out, hands trembling, and saw a message from an unknown number. He's coming for you. Be careful. Her blood ran cold. Who was sending this? And what did they mean by he's coming for you? The mysterious man noticed a reaction. That's why the note said, pay for everything yourself, he explained. Tony's mistakes have drawn attention. Dangerous attention. The people he dealt with don't care about anyone but themselves. And now, Amanda, you're in the middle of it. Whether you like it or not, you need to be ready. Amanda felt a chill run down her spine. She had imagined danger before, in movies or stories, but nothing prepared her for this. Her husband, the man she loved, had put them both in jeopardy. She clenched her fists, determination growing despite the fear. She would not be a passive victim. Not now. The man handed her a small card. This has instructions. Follow them carefully. Tony left traces, and if you act wisely, you can fix some of what he's done. But you must act fast. Hesitation will cost you. Amanda took the card and examined it. Written in precise, almost formal handwriting, were directions she didn't fully understand yet, but they hinted at locations, names, and coded information. Her mind raced, trying to piece it all together. She thought of Tony again. Could he be trusted at all? Had he really tried to protect her, or had he underestimated the danger? And now, as the weight of responsibility settled on her shoulders, Amanda realized that nothing about her life would ever be the same. The man watching her nodded, as if reading her thoughts. Tony will answer for his mistakes, he said quietly, but right now your priority is yourself. Follow the instructions, stay alert, and trust no one fully, not even him. Amanda's heart raced, but a fire ignited inside her. She was determined not to be a victim, not to be paralyzed by fear. She would face the truth, confront Tony, and protect herself, even if it meant walking into danger alone. As she tucked the card into her jacket pocket, she realized that the woman she had been yesterday, the wife, the caretaker, the partner, was gone. Today, she had to be someone stronger, smarter, and braver. She took a deep breath, steeling herself for what was coming. The man at her side finally spoke, breaking the tense silence. "It starts now, Amanda. Your choices will determine the rest of your life. And Tony, well, he's about to see the consequences of underestimating you." Amanda swallowed hard, gripping the folder and card tightly. She wasn't sure what awaited her, but one thing was clear. She had woken up from her coma into a reality she didn't understand, and from this moment forward, she would take control. The room was silent except for the faint hum of the lights, but Amanda felt an electric tension in the air. Danger, secrets, and revelation. Her life, her marriage, and her future were now a puzzle she had to solve. And she would. Amanda followed the mysterious man out of the dim room and into a narrow, winding corridor that seemed to stretch endlessly. Every step she took echoed against the walls, amplifying her anxiety. She kept her hand on the folder and card, the only anchors in the storm of fear and uncertainty. Her mind raced, imagining what she would find when she finally confronted Tony. Would he be repentant? Would he explain himself? Or had he crossed a line from which there was no return? The man led her to a small, private office tucked at the end of the corridor. The blinds were drawn, casting shadowy lines across the floor, and a single lamp illuminated a chair in the center. Amanda's stomach twisted as she recognized Tony sitting there, hands bound loosely, his head bowed. "Tony." Amanda's voice trembled. Her heart battled between love, anger, and disbelief. What is all of this?" Tony slowly lifted his head. His face was pale, eyes wide, and for the first time, Amanda saw fear, real fear, in him. "Amanda." He swallowed hard. "I can explain." The mysterious man stepped forward, his tone sharp. "No explanations. Not yet. She needs the truth, Tony. Everything you've done, every decision, every risk, it all comes to light now." Amanda's eyes darted between them. She felt betrayed, confused, and enraged all at once. Tony had always been protective, attentive, loving, but this was beyond betrayal. The man handed Amanda a tablet. On it were videos, security footage, meetings, exchanges. Every action Tony had taken behind her back played out in front of her eyes. Amanda watched as her husband interacted with people whose faces were hidden, handling large sums of cash and documents that clearly involved illegal dealings. Her breath caught. "Tony, why?" she whispered, tears welling in her eyes. Tony looked down, unable to meet her gaze. "I thought I was protecting us. I thought I could handle it alone," he said. "I never wanted you involved, never wanted to hurt you. But I underestimated them. I underestimated the risk." Amanda shook her head. "You underestimated me too, Tony. You thought I wouldn't see. You thought I'd stay in the dark while you played dangerous games behind my back." Her voice rose, filled with a mix of anger and heartbreak. The mysterious man remained silent, watching closely. He had orchestrated this confrontation, ensuring Amanda saw everything, forcing the truth into the open. Amanda stood, clutching the folder and card. Her mind raced with possibilities, calling the authorities, confronting Tony further, protecting herself. But above all, she realized something vital. She was no longer the passive, trusting wife. She had woken up from the coma, not just physically, but mentally. She was awake to the truth, and she would not be deceived again. "Tony," she said firmly, stepping closer, "everything you've done, you've dragged me into danger. I don't know if I can forgive that. I don't even know if I can trust you again. But right now, I need to know one thing. Are you willing to fix this? Are you willing to face the consequences? Or is it just going to get worse for both of us?" Tony's hands shook. He nodded slowly. I'll do whatever it takes. I made a mistake, Amanda. A terrible mistake. I want to make it right. I need your help. Amanda's eyes narrowed. Your mistake almost cost us everything. I woke up from a coma into a nightmare. Tony, you owe me honesty and, more importantly, action. I'm not saving you because I love you blindly. I'm helping you because I need to know if you can be trusted at all. The mysterious man finally spoke, his voice calm but commanding. Amanda, you have the choice now. Tony's fate, your future, everything, depends on how you act. He made the mistake. You decide the consequences. This is your moment. Amanda took a deep breath, her heart pounding. She looked at Tony, then back at the man who had guided her through this revelation. The weight of responsibility pressed down on her, but she felt a strange sense of clarity. She had survived the coma, she had faced betrayal, and she had seen the truth. This isn't over, she said finally, her voice steady. But we're going to fix it. Together or not at all. And Tony, if I find out you've lied to me again, there will be no second chances. Tony swallowed, nodding, finally meeting her gaze. He could see the fire in her eyes, the transformation that had taken place. Amanda was no longer the woman who would blindly trust. She was awake, in every sense of the word, and she was ready to take control of her life. The mysterious man stepped back, a faint smile crossing his face. Good. That's all you needed to hear. Now handle it carefully. The rest is up to you. Amanda took the folder, the tablet, and the card. She felt the weight of the situation, but also a newfound strength. She had faced the nightmare that awaited her after the coma. She had confronted the truth about Tony. And now, she would decide what came next. For the first time since she woke, Amanda felt a strange calm wash over her. The danger was real, the betrayal deep, but she was ready. Whatever came next, she would face it head-on, and she would survive. Because Amanda knew one thing for certain. Waking up from a coma had not just returned her to life, it had awakened her to the truth.